Okay, good evening everybody, and welcome back then to the Endurance series on Motorsport Manager using the brilliant Fire mod. And we're continuing our Let's Play with the Manor... This is a ridiculous name. The CEFC Manor TRS Racing. Basically Manor Racing. And first time out, we had a pretty shock result, finishing 3rd and 4th overall. Which means we're actually level on points for Toyota and only 1 behind Porsche. Obviously, the aim this season was to be best of the rest, to beat Signatech, Vicoles and Rebellion. And we did that in style, with 3rd and 4th place, even beating home 2 of the main Porsche and Toyota cars. So, we'll see if that continues. Obviously, there's still a lot to get used to in this Endurance DLC, and a lot of strategy still to get a handle on. But we'll get through the normal stuff, and then we'll get on to the second race, which we'll be doing today in Belgium. So let's get going, shall we? So one of our drivers hates driving for the team. If he gets any offers from other teams, he's going to seriously think about them. Well, Gonzalez and Verne, apparently. Okay, well, we should look to replace those guys pretty soon then. So it would seem. Evening Leaf, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well this evening. Thank you for tuning in, as always. As we get going. So, pit crew last time out. 9 pit stops. Fastest pit stop was 31 seconds. And a mistake-free weekend. So it doesn't look like we're going to have to be firing anybody anytime soon. So, I was having to think through about drivers. I think we need to stabilise money a bit more first, but Gonzalez and Verne obviously looks like they want to move on as soon as possible, so we will need to look to replace them. So I guess we should start maybe having a little scout about and seeing what kind of drivers are on offer. So endurance racing, typically obviously you don't get young drivers. I don't plan on this being a hugely long Let's Play. And considering we're starting at the top, we should be able to win, hopefully, within a couple of seasons. So, I'm looking more sort of nostalgic, sort of well-known names. Now, I have been thinking about trying to get Webber back, or maybe Jenson Button. But they are pretty expensive. For the memes, we could get Palmer. Which I think would be pretty funny as well. Alguersuari is a good driver. Is a possibility. Let's start bookmarking these guys, shall we? So we'll favourite Alguersuari. I basically just want F1 drivers or old F1 drivers. That's how I want this to go. It's probably not the right way to approach things, but fuck it. Let's make it a nostalgia fest. Get ex F1 drivers only in our team. You're doing fine. Enjoy my few days off. How are you, mate? Glad to hear that. Yeah, I'm good, my friend. It's middle of the work week, so just a couple more days till the weekend again. That's kind of how it goes, just counting them down again, unfortunately. Right, yeah, so Palmer is a possibility as well. There's a lot of touring car drivers on here as well, which I quite like. Gutierrez might be an option. That's a very sinister looking photo of him there. Never looks like he has much fun, Gutierrez, let's be honest. But that's our criteria. Out of work Formula 1 drivers. If we can fill a team with them, that'd be pretty funny. D'Ambrosio, of course. An ex-driver. Ex-F1 drivers and Alonso. But we only ever put Alonso in the car for the minimum amount of time. I honestly don't think we'll be able to afford him at the moment, unfortunately. Webber. Definitely a possibility. The only issue is they're going to be expensive. That's why we'll probably have to wait a few races till we've got some money. I thought we'd just go through and highlight them. I felt the old dog. Of course, not really unemployed in Formula E at the moment, but I don't think that's in this mod anymore. I think the Fire mod has changed it to Formula 1, Formula 2 and Formula 3. Mitch Evans, GP2 driver. Not really what I'm looking for. Oh, Robert Kubica's on here. Oh, that's got to be a must. We've got to have Kubica in the team. Glock is still in DTM. I think so. I would have to have a look. Scott Speed. That's a blast from the past. From his brief run at Toro Rosso. Tom Chilton. I don't know that he's related. I think that's the touring car driver, actually. And that's all of them that are unemployed anyway. Yeah, in terms of Timo Glock, I'm pretty sure DTM is on here. There it is. Yeah, there he is. Glock. Team RMG. I kind of want to go for unemployed people for the moment, just because we can save a bit of money on them. I don't, as I say, I need to get some upgrades on the car, but we've made that shortlist for now, and we can possibly get some of them on the books in a couple of races' time. So we've got a couple of sponsor offers. 11 races, 331 if we get 8 or above, which we're almost certainly going to do, or 151,000 per race. I'm up for this. I think we can get 8 for each race. So, but that's only if we actually don't have a better deal. You see, Tata has a better deal, 7 for above 439. We're not going to be able to do both at the same time, so you may as well go for a fixed sponsor. We'll go for a short one and try and get a better sponsor later on. So Billabong on the car. I was also told, there it is. So Capri Sun, that we were wondering where it was last time, it's above the canopy there on the air intake. That's where Capri Sun has gone. But obviously just the game expects it to be there. That's why the camera zooms that. So they are all visible. Okay, right, let's continue and then we can choose what we're going to do. Thank you, I'm hoping it is. Hopefully, I just want an it's like a retirement. I want our team to be a retirement home for F1 drivers. Just 6 of the best retired Formula 1 drivers. I hate this one. It's like, why should we be throwing him a huge party? I guess from what I read into Manor, this guy Graves has been with the team for ages, so I guess we should throw him a big party. We get a little discount because of our background as a team owner as well, so it doesn't make it quite as painful. Right. So at the moment we're still improving our brakes and the reliability of our engine. I'm going to switch the engine to the gearbox. And what parts have we got being made? So we got new brakes on the way in 16 days. So they'll be ready a little bit before, but I don't know if the performance will be there. Looks like our engine could do a bit of a performance upgrade. If we've got new brakes coming, I don't see much point actually in continuing to improve the performance of those. So we'll keep improving the engine. And I think that'll be it. We can get going towards the next race. There's F1 in Beijing going on. So, just so you guys know, podcast will be up later this evening. So I can only really do one race here because I need to finish editing it and upload it, which I can't do obviously at the same time as streaming. So I think we'll do one race this evening. I did want to do 2, but I don't really have time, unfortunately. So it'll just be the one. Right, those brakes are finished. So that means we can start improving them. Yeah, they're going to need a lot of reliability work. We'll keep the performance on the engine. We'll switch reliability to suspension. Why not? And we will get straight away making some more brakes. So I'm going to go with deceleration again. This is tempting, but it didn't really have too many tyre troubles in the first race, so I don't think we need to worry about that just yet. And then we'll add 5 days to that and deceleration plus 40. Right, they're not going to be ready for a good while, and the new brakes aren't going to be ready for the next race, unfortunately. Everything taking much longer than it needs to at the moment, purely because we don't have the factory built. I think Team principles, fully accredited, rule changes, got it, Todd. Fairly standard stuff. Right, we're gonna go. I felt we were a little too overeager with the super softs last time, so we're gonna go more softs and an extra set of mediums. I think would be the best thing to do. And in terms of parts, I can't really risk putting those brakes on the car, so it'll be the same parts as last time. You know, we got 3rd and 4th last time, so I'm fairly confident that the car can do okay. Got some rain for qualifying and then a nice dry race, so let's get underway. I'm glad you're looking forward to podcasts. Me and Rage are really enjoying doing them, and this one's a really good one as well. It's a lot long. It's even longer than the first one. We tried to make it shorter and just ended up going on and on for even longer, but hopefully you guys will enjoy it. And I say that should be up very, very late this evening, so you can always watch it tomorrow. I might even make it live in the morning instead of very late this evening. Just a bit of a better time. Right. So, we got this a little bit wrong last time. There were people that said that you essentially, when you're over each driver's bar, it favours that driver. But to begin with, when I first played the Endurance DLC, you could have a balance between 2 drivers. I can't work out if this is a balance between them. Say we're in this gap here. Does that split it between Vern and Hishke? Or is that just nobody? Anyway. Gravesy's in good form. So I'm going to go there. And then hopefully that should favour Hishke as well, I'm guessing. It favours none if it's in the gap. So you can't have it favouring 2 drivers at the same time. Because this is what I don't understand. If when it's in this bar it only favours that driver, the lines should overlap. Well, exactly. So why don't they? Is there something you have to do to make them overlap? Because if you can't get them to overlap at all, there's no point being 0.4 on one driver. You may as well be half a second to 1 if you can't favour both. Is that how I'm seeing it? Because this slider's pointless if it's only setting it up for 1 driver when it's in that bar. You should be able to if the bars overlap. I think it's dependent on their adaptability. Oh, okay, so maybe we just don't have adaptable drivers. In which case I'm just going to go full on for Graves. Right, okay. And I'm going to go full on for Zollinger then. Because they're 2 informed guys, and I'm going to follow the form. Right, that's with that done then. And we should get out and get some practice underway then. So we'll put Gravesy in the car first. Downforce, handling, speed balance. Right, we'll get them out on the soft tyres. I think they're going to be the main race tyre. Get some good practice on those. And we'll put Zollinger in that car. Handling and softs as well. Evening, Greg. How you doing, buddy? Welcome along to the stream. Okay, we're going to be going out for race trim. Actually, only 4 laps at the moment because we're going to be bringing them straight back in. Stints, race trim. Out they go. Models do look pretty great, I've got to say. They've done a good job with these, the mod makers. It's great to see proper endurance cars in this game as well now, with everything that it means. Thanks, man. Hopefully we'll go well. It'll be pretty tough to beat the big guys again. I don't know that we'll be able to beat a Porsche and a Toyota yet again, but as long as we get 5th and 6th, that's the minimum. And of course, endurance race, anything can happen. So we'll just wait and see. Try and do the best job we can. That's a pretty good opening setup from Zollinger right there. Right. So just speed balance that needs a big change. We'll just try one way on the handling and just see if it makes any difference as well. Race trim. Soft tyres. Bit more work needed on Graves' car. Engine sound is a little loud. Okay, thank you very much. I shall turn that down a little bit. Just let me know if that's any better. I'm quite zoomed in as well, which doesn't help, to be fair. Right, downforce needs quite a big change. Speed balance, big change. Handling, just a little one. Ooh, that's not good. Gravesy really not on form. Let's put Vern in the car anyway. I don't know if you can change the bias towards a driver after the fact, because they're not doing great. The two drivers, they seem to be worsening in form. So that's probably the distance we'll watch it from, so just let me know if that's too loud and I can tone it down again if that is the case. Difficult to see around the Ardennes, as they call it. It's effectively Spa because of all the trees. It's hard to get a good camera angle. This is fine. Good, good. I wonder if form has anything to do with their setup preference. Possible. So what? The form might get better as the setup gets better, or whether you've favoured them. Possible. I'm guessing form is just random, I would think, or based on morale maybe. Evening Calcifer, how you doing, my friend? Welcome along to the stream. Looking forward to the 2 league races at the weekend. I'm really looking forward to getting those 2004 cars round Spa. That's going to be an epic race. Shower. Okay, I left Vern out one more lap. I meant to. Oh yeah, Ferrari. Yep. It's probably the best car in the game. Actually, no, it is the best car in the game. So much fun, those things. Okie doke. So, just going to make a little tweak of the setup and see if we can improve things. And we'll send Fern out. Yeah, let's put him out on a bit of a longer stint, as we've already got that set up pretty much set. Braun Mercedes, god yeah, that is the car I want most of anything. I've been actually, funny you should say that, I've been playing the 2009 mod for a set of Corsa this week. I mean, it's based on the Williams, but it's got a Braun skin. But that's so much fun to drive, and I've been told they really want to get it, Codemasters, or I read somewhere in an interview they really wanted that car, but there's a lot of licensing issues apparently. It's the problem with older cars, you got to get all the old sponsors and everything to agree, which some of the companies don't even exist anymore, which doesn't help. Right, 95 is Zollinger. So we shall put someone else in the car. Trummer, have a go. I chose you. And we will send him out for a long run as well. We'll just get these soft tyres and race trim done, and then we can do some quality practice. Anything above 95 I'm happy with on the setup, then you just get the laps in. just to make sure that you get all the boosts you can get. I'm guessing you'll want to win most races, Gauss, for no? But yes, that is will be a great race to win. It's just going to be nice to hear however many there's going to be, 15, 16, 17 of us lining up on the grid in those beautiful, beautiful cars. The noises will be the best. Really annoys me that one thing I'd love Codemasters to add is a multiplayer replay generator, because I would love to do proper sort of race reports of the league races, and those cars would be just the best sounding. Okay, this guy's not too great in terms of experience gain, unfortunately. It's taking a bit longer than I would hope, but they'll get there, I'm sure. That time's kind of irrelevant at the moment, looking okay. Vernon 8th, Trummer in 12th. And then you just have to keep it safe till the end of the season. Hey, that's not the spirit, Calcifer. You've got to go for it every race. As soon as you get complacent, that's when mistakes start happening. But no, I know what you mean. If I don't know what happened to West Sirius last race, but in Silverstone, but it's obviously giving you a nice little advantage in the championship. Right, we're nearly at level 2. I have to bring him in a minute just to get some other people some time and see who's in form. You have to play it smart. Yeah, well, we're a long way from the end yet. It's a bit early to be playing it smart, but I guess the pair of you don't really have much competition behind, so you can take it easy and get second most races. Oh, that sucks for him. It's never what you want. It's a shame. You two guys have been having a great battle so far this season anyway. Right, let's bring these two chumps in and get a couple more out for some track time. I think we'll keep going to level 3 of both. We're unlikely to unlock any qualifying at the moment with such little time left, but we'll give it a go. Right, Hirschke has not had a run yet, so he'll go out again. Race trim on the soft tyres. Same set of softs. Lasting well in the last whole session. Right, Gonzalez. Not anybody in any sort of great form. I think you might be right in terms of the form being affected by who you choose for the setup, because it seems to be the two drivers we preferred that are doing the best at the moment. He immediately said to me that he will retire after this race. He then said, fuck it, and we'll race till the end of the season. Good. We want a battle between you two guys at the top. Can't be making it all easy for you now, can they? I'm glad he's going to continue. Right. Priority for new drivers. Those that learn quickly. Because this is taking forever. It shouldn't take over 20 minutes to get to level 3 of these things. And we're going to get no quality runs in at all, unfortunately, if we want to max these out. Well, we'll get some runs in, but we won't get to level 1, unfortunately. But we'll just let the boys go around. have their time in the car. Gonzalez looking kind of on form. Hirschke is not, like most of my drivers this weekend, but it's all about strategy in the race. Not too bothered about their form numbers. It shouldn't make a huge difference, I wouldn't have thought. It's a shame you can't have reserves in endurance as well, just to swap people in when you felt like it. Full drivers to choose from, or like a feature that would allow you, like Alonso or Hulkenberg doing Le Mans, to bring in like a star driver for like the main race of the year, or for one race only. Right, we've now got level 3 on both of those, so there's no point in continuing to pound around if they're gaining nothing, and we'll go out for some qualifying runs, but it's unlikely that we're going to get any knowledge slots, unfortunately. What did everyone think of the race at the weekend anyway? Brazil. It's pretty interesting. As I said, podcast will be coming late this evening. Once I finish the stream, I will start uploading it, but interesting to see what you guys think. It's a very interesting race, to be fair. And fitting end to Massa's career as well, which is nice. Right, Vern doing exceptionally well at the moment, so we'll send him out for the final part, and he can do 3 laps on the super softs. And in the other car, Gonzalez is actually looking the best driver, but we're going to give Zollinger a bit more time in the car to see if he can regain his form. Again, qualifying on the super softs. Yeah, it would be a cool feature, just like bringing Alonso in, or Vettel, or Hamilton. I also want a Le Mans. I haven't looked through the calendar actually, but I presume there's a Le Mans style race, but it's just not 24 hours, or it's just not a longer race. But just being able to do that for sort of the equivalent. Barney's catching me. Yep, they're all catching me. Miele, Barney and Cho. They're all quicker. They have been all season. I've just been getting the more consistent results, really. So I need a bit more luck and a couple of good results to get me back in that commanding position in 3rd. But it's going to be a very tight battle to the end between all 4 of us. It's been heating up behind you two guys. We've had some great races between us 4. Brazil in particular in the classic cars was a real humdinger until the rain came. It was fun to see Hamilton charge through the pack. What I really wanted to see was more of the Perez-Alonso Massa battle. I know, it's like everybody was waiting for that to close up for laps and laps and laps, and then they didn't show any of it. Unfortunately. Night Calcifer, thanks for dropping by, and I shall see you at the weekend for the league races. Cheers, bro. Yeah, I haven't seen anything of those 3. I don't know if there was actually any attempted overtakes between them, or how close it actually got, because Perez caught up with those 2 very late, and I think Perez was actually closer to Alonso than Alonso was to Massa at the end. But as always, concentrating on Lewis, even though it was pretty apparent after a lap or 2 that he wasn't going to get past Raikkonen. Just couldn't do anything about him. Alright, so that is practice over with them. And as predicted, we didn't get to level 1, unfortunately. On Super Softs or qualifying, our drivers aren't very good at learning the track, unfortunately. So, but at least we got race trim and soft tyres maxed out, which I think would be the main thing for the race. And at the end of the day, qualifying really isn't that big a deal in endurance racing. When you're racing for 3 hours, as long as you're on the grid, you've got a chance of finishing anywhere, to be honest. See, there was someone in the news there predicting we're going to win the race ahead of Toyota and Porsche. Well, I think you're being a little optimistic there, random journalist. It's incredibly unlikely to happen. Right, so I'm going to go with Vern because I just think he'll be overall quicker. Although the car is set up for Graves. Okay, let's go Graves and Hirschke for car number 1. Car number 2 will go Trummer and Zollinger just because they're so much more on form. We could change this around. But obviously the car's already set up, so there's no real point in doing that because it might change what we need to set up. And we've only got soft tyres available. Which isn't particularly helpful because we're not going to be running on soft tyres in qualifying, but hey. Now there is rain due, there it is. So we need to get straight out on the super softs and hope we can get a lap in before the rain starts to come. Try and give a little gap between our two cars. And it looks like it's going to dry out again, so we should have a chance afterwards, but we'll get out straight away just in case this is the driest point of the session. Exactly, Leaf. It's all about the race. Whoops. Auto. Really doesn't matter in qualifying. At least it is a good indicator overall of whether our car moves forward or not when we put major upgrades on the car. Although of course we've not put any on yet this season, so not relevant today. Right, there comes that rain. Now the other issue I've just thought about is I've got to get an average between two drivers. That's a big issue. So when is it going to be driest? I think I might let these two complete their lap just in case this is the driest point I can get them out on track. So I'm going to have to put the other guys out as soon as it goes dry. Once again. Right, those two coming back in. So we'll just speed it up past this rain. And we'll send them out straight away afterwards. So we're P1 and 2, but of course we haven't had the second aggregate laps just yet. Oh, there's rain right there as well. This is going to be really tricky. Right, it's damp now, so I'm going to send the other two out on dry tyres again while it's a little bit damp, and hopefully we can get them back in and the other guys back out in that before it gets too wet once again. Hirschke and Trummer. Right, let's see how they do. So it's dry now. Are we gonna? Is there gonna be enough time? This is gonna be a very complicated session. Yeah, I'm hoping so. Just because the first aggregate laps were so good. Hopefully, overall, it puts us right in the game. Not that it matters too much as we've just gone over, but... Right, Trummer coming to the line. That puts us top by nearly 5 seconds. Good grief. And Hirschke goes even faster then, at 34.7. Overturns the deficit that Graves had behind Zollinger from the first leg from the first lap. So they're only a tenth apart, but 5 seconds clear of the field. And that rain's going to be coming again right about now. Well, a couple of laps. We'll get the first driver out again just to see if I'm going to put them on used super softs, because I don't really want to waste another set of tyres, just to see if they can improve a little bit. I don't think anyone's going to be able to improve on this because the rain's coming. The rain is coming. Look how much the form has improved with these guys. Graves, he's really feeling it out there. And so is Hirschke. I guess going first and second on the timesheets is going to boost your confidence a little bit. And there is that rain then, which means I don't think they're going to improve. As I said, we'll let them go around anyway. I don't think there's any way they're going to improve. It's got Zollinger on top form though, 9.5, and I think he's going to be starting tomorrow. Yeah, I think I got it as well, man. We smashed this. Actually got a strategy call in qualifying right for a change. There's no way. I mean, they're already in the 40s. He's just crossed the line. Yeah. That was actually a pretty good lap, considering you're now driving around on super softs, mate. In pouring rain. You should have the wet tyres on. This is the bit that's a little unrealistic about this game. These two cars are now out on completely slick tyres, and they're not crashing. They wouldn't be able to... Look, they're keeping up with people a little bit there. They would not be able to keep those things on the track. It'd literally be like having dinner trays strapped to your wheels. The old drifting technique. To be honest, it'd be even worse than that. But hey ho. I guess I'm glad, because if it was realistic, both cars would be in the barrier and needing a pretty hefty repair job right now. So that's going to be it. It's going to be first and second. And we follow up the third and fourth finish in the opening race with a first and second in qualifying. It's going to be incredibly tough to stay there for the race. We know that. But it doesn't mean we can take some confidence from it. If you could just speed it up, please, game. And Graves gets his first position, and his form's gone down to 5.7. And Zollinger's down to 4.7. What is that all about? Why does that happen? Like, all they did was an in-lap, and they lost pretty much half their form. Is that because they were on the wrong tyres? Very bizarre. Anyway, that's a nice sight. So Lotter and Hartley did actually improve in the Porsche, as did Davis and Nakajima, but not enough. It was not enough to challenge us. And we got out the two perfect times already there. Maybe that's the next update. Implementing crashing during practice and quali. Maybe. It would be you'd have a special event, or penalties that you might have to incur. That's what I kind of like, is mechanical issues that are out of your control. Because because you can have a motor race and a car will just be driving along, 1 minute the engine will be absolutely fine, next minute it'll be gone. In this game it waits till it gets down into that red zone for game purposes, but I would like random mistakes every now, random failures every now and then would make it a little bit more realistic. If you crash, you lose 50% reliability for the race. Maybe, or you just have stats of your pit crew coming into account as to how well they fix it. I think saying that you just lose instantly 50% reliability would be a bit unfair, especially if it was out of your control in the first place. But they're all nice ideas, for sure. I'd like some more random crashes and failures. Just keep it. But it has to be the AI as well. That's what I found at the moment. The AI very, very rarely making crashes and mistakes, or even retiring. There's only a couple of cars retiring per race, even in the endurance. Right, Gravesy's done a great job so far, so we're going to put him in the car for the first stint. We are going to put him on the soft tyres, I think, just to get the maximum distance out. We went super softs last time and they just didn't last properly. It would be a little harsh, guys, yeah. It's just instantly bam. I would fire the driver if that was the case. If they were going to lose us 50% reliability every time they crashed. Right, Gravesy on the softs. And in car number 2, we are going to start... You see, all their form has disappeared for no reason. I think we're going to put Trummer in the car. He's the best driver. His form's pretty high as well. So we'll get him in for the first stint. I always like to start positively. I feel is the right strategy in endurance races. Put your best guy in. Although they often say that it's the opposite. You don't want your best guy in at the beginning because they're all bunched up in the field. It's really difficult for them to actually put in the laps and times. Right, we didn't do this last time. We went backwards very quickly. So we will just go attack and overtake for the first lap. And then hopefully our guys can get away from the pack a little bit. The Porsches and Toyotas will come. They're going to be a lot quicker in the race for sure. But at least if we don't get held up too much at the beginning. Best overtaking. Well, I mean, they're starting first and second, so they shouldn't really really be doing that. I do kind of know what you mean. See, this is the other thing that's bugging me. I'm sure you could look at the guy's stats before in the race. I don't know if it's something with this mod, but or something with an update they've done to the DLC. But I can't look at any information about the drivers now. So I can't really choose who is the best overtaker, unfortunately, as far as I'm aware. Yes, I can find it somewhere. Oh, here we go. Right. Overtaking for Vern 11. Hirschke is 9. And Graves is 11. So we've got Graves in the car. Him or Vern will be fine. Second one's Ollinger, 7. Gonzalez 10. Trummer 11. So we've actually got the two best overtakers in the car anyway. But hey, what manager doesn't have his 6 drivers' stats memorised? One who is thinking about replacing them as soon as possible. One who is literally already picturing them as all F1 legends of past. I know I should have. This is the kind of game, if there's any, that you should have spreadsheets off to the side of literally all this information, like a wall chart, colour-coded wall chart of all the information you could ever need. Right, so of course we've got a rolling start, so we've got essentially a formation lap where we get to enjoy for a little longer our 2 guys leading the pack, because those Porsches and Toyotas are going to be passed incredibly quickly. I can almost guarantee it. Interestingly enough, 3 cars starting on the mediums, the rest super soft, so we're going to have to go some here to not be swallowed up early on, but of course it means we're going to be able to go longer. So I'm hoping the strategy will come back to us later in the race. And as I said, if we can just get away from that squabbling pack for the first 4 or 5 laps, then it just means the pressure is off later in the stint. So another thing we need to be watching is tyre temps. I've not been very good at it recently, so we need to be constantly on top of those tyre temps and making sure it's completely horizontal wherever possible. Right, here we go then. Getting underway for race number 2 in Spa. It's a good start, both our guys leading away nicely. Graves and Trummer leading the pack still. Lotta are trying to have a look in that Porsche and not finding a way through. And it's a great start from both of them, to be fair. Oh yeah, here they come. Senna goes past then in the, I think, the Rebellion car to now lead the race. Got Davidson and Lotterer behind then, so Toyota and Porsche are lurking. Right, let's go back down to medium and neutral, try and get those tyre temps back under control as quickly as possible. Don't be afraid to push when needed. Okay, good advice, don't spend that much time in the red zone. No, we'll try and avoid it. We'll try and get those tyre temps back down. If they don't come back down naturally, then we will go to conserve. It's only 19 degrees out there, so it shouldn't be too bad. Trummer's dropped back to 5th then. Graves still holding on to P2. He's coming under attack now. So I think we're just going to use our boost just to... Oh, that was on the wrong car. Use the boost for Graves as well. We'll use the boost the first couple of times, and then we'll probably go back to the harvest just to try and get extra fuel out of it, because these soft tyres are going to, on paper, going to last longer than the fuel load we've got in. So we want to save some fuel to go as long as possible. We're going to go back to conserve now because those tyre temps not coming down. Yeah, I was a little bit behind you on that one, Leaf. Got there eventually. So I think the hybrid mode will be preferable. Who's that? That was Kobayashi flying through in the other Toyota. Lotter and Davison going back through the field. Bernard is the other Porsche there in 7th. So they're not coming through the field like I would have thought, to be fair. Which is interesting, to say the least. Right, those tyre temps look okay, so we'll go back to neutral now. And we'll just kick on a little bit. First few races I played in endurance, I wanted to see every little bit in detail, but let's be honest, as long as those tyre temps are okay, and we're using the ERS, we're in for a long wait till the first stop anyway, so we may as well leave it on 4 times for the moment. So Graves holding third nicely, Trummer in 7th. On the face of it, looks like he's going backwards quickly, but to be fair, he's sandwiched between the Toyota and the 2 Porsches. As Losser now gets past them, which was to be expected. Senna's the one that's doing a great job out in front, young Bruno Senna there. And Trummer asking if we can get one of the Porsches out of the way. I don't think they're going to be too respondent to that, my friend. Unfortunately. Right, tyre temp's still looking good, so we can just continue on as we are. Tyres looking good as well. Right, so all the Porsches and all the Toyotas now ahead of us. 6th and 7th is what we're aiming for in this race, don't forget. It's just that just Senna at the moment. I'm sure he'll come back to us as the Toyotas and Porsches make their way past him. So we've got Dumas in between us. And then we've got the 3 guys that had a terrible qualifying session right at the back there. They've made their way past the Class B cars now, or the LMP2 cars, should I say. But they're still quite a way off from us, so they won't be a threat early on. But Dumas and Negreo have now got past us. So I've got to assume this could be tyre related as well. Don't forget we're on a harder compound, so we're going to be aiming to go further into this race. Graves is all fired up now. He's in his element, and I'd like to try and make these tyres go as long as possible. But we've also got to bear in mind what these 2 drivers will do. So if we're going to get these 2 guys to do 2 stints, we've got to bear in mind we don't want them to go over sort of 35-40 minutes in the car. If we're going to make these 2 guys do just 1 stint, then we can see if we can push it up to sort of 40-50 minutes if the tyres will allow. I don't know if they will. So the super soft guys getting away from us. Got to keep an eye on those guys behind on the mediums. Looks like that gap is pretty stable, if not increasing a little bit. No, it's coming back down again. 5.6 now. Why did you just lose half a second? What are you doing, Trummer? Concentrate, man. Evening, Polka Duck. Welcome from what, Argentina. Hope you can enjoy the stream, and I hope you're a Motorsport Manager fan, because that's what we do. But do get involved, absolutely. Thank you for joining. How long are these softs expected to last? So the estimation is 43 overall. Graves 43, yeah. So 43 to 45 laps. Obviously that's going to be with the lap time round here. Almost an hour in the car. Trummer, I missed that. Oh, his charger's full. We use the hybrid just to try and save some fuel and get the longest distance we can. It's Spa, yeah. It's 3 hours. I've got it set on this endurance mode. I felt even for a stream 6 hours was a little long per race. But I would like to do a 6-hour race, maybe, at some point. I just want someone to make a 24-hour mod, and then I'd do one stream with that, with like a Le Mans style race. That'd be great. I don't know that modding can go quite that deep as to change those things. Right, so Graves definitely getting the better of Trummer on this stint. Car number 1 is definitely quicker than car number 2. The gap behind Trummer to Lapierre is increasing. The gap ahead to the super soft runners I think is starting to come down a bit now, because those super softs are almost done on the few cars ahead. Senna is back to 3rd, so we've now got Toyota leading with Kobayashi and Lotter in the Porsche in P2. Davison and Berard same way around in 4th and 5th. So Senna and Dumas are going to have to come back to us quite a bit. Negreira's not too far ahead, to be fair. So we've just got to buckle down and remember that this race will come back to us. The gap ahead is actually getting a little bigger, so it's not coming down. Which you would expect, considering how much life is in the super softs and how much life is in the softs. So I'm a little worried on our pace at the moment. Hopefully it'll pick up. Remember, tyre changes take so much longer. That's true. If we can cut out an entire pit stop from the race, then we're quids in. That gap's not a problem. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Polka Duck, where are you from? I'm from the UK. The United Kingdom. In England. Yes, sir. Home of Gandalf the Wizard. No idea why I just said that. Been doing that far too much recently with Rage. I'm sorry, Frodo. But your tyres simply aren't soft enough. Okay. Gap ahead coming down again. Gap behind still increasing a little bit. So, everything's looking okay. And we're on a completely different strategy from everybody. Well, in terms of the tyre compound we're on. I think if we can, I would like to... Menendez has pitted. That has bumped up a position, so they were ahead of us. So it's the question of what tyres we put on. Do we stick on the softs? Or do we now decide that mediums till the end, now that we've got this sort of advantage on the super soft runners? We just do mediums and try and maximise the chance of doing one less stop than everybody. I feel soft tyres are the best sort of mid-ground at the moment. I haven't really got the will or desire to work it out on a calculator exactly how much time we want everybody in the car and how long each stint needs to be. That's the difficult bit. You see, we're coming up to the point now that if we put Graves and Trummer in for another stint, they've got to stop about now, but the tyres are still good. So that's the issue. Do I think that Hamilton can be able to catch 7 champions of Schumacher? If he has the car, I think that's the biggest restraint. The only restraint he has. He's got to have a championship winning car. If Mercedes hold their advantage the next few years, or at least as quick as everybody else, absolutely. I think he's got time in his hands, and I think he's got a real desire to do that. Let's harvest a little bit more. So yeah, I don't see why not. He needs a lot of luck. I'm sure there's plenty of people in Formula 1 history that had the potential to be 7-time world champions, like Schumacher did. Just didn't have the car under them enough. So we'll see. We'll see how Mercedes do. I'm hoping next year it closes up between Ferrari, Mercedes and Red Bull, and we have a real three-way scrap for the title. If you're doing a drive change, you might as well change the tyres. Take the same amount of time. Yes, yeah, I agree. I just meant if we push these two drivers too far, say up to around 50 minutes, a 20-minute stint is almost useless. So this is, we either make them do 2 stints, in which case we bring them in early, change tyres and change driver. But the tyres are good. The tyres are good to go for a while. So I think this will be these two guys' only stint. And then the other 2 drivers will probably have to do 2 stints each. Maybe 2 stints and 1 stint. It depends. So obviously in a perfect world you'd have each driver do an hour. That's not always how it works out. About 15 minutes short, and these guys are getting pretty tired now as well. But while the tyres are good, there's not much need to bring them in. These soft tyres, I think, are the race tyre. They can just go normal, and they don't hurt the tyres at all. So both guys getting pretty tired. We'll try and get another lap or 2 out of them, and then we'll bring them in. As soon as the tyres drop below 30 is about the right time to change. It's interesting how much Trummer has caught back up towards the end of this stint though. He's had a much better second half of the stint. Don't refuel too much. I think you might be right. I think, considering this is how far the soft tyres go, I don't know that we want to go much further than this. So maybe we'll take 6-7 laps out. That's a good idea. Right, we need to bring these guys in then. So I'm gonna bring Gravesy in first, and we're gonna switch over to Jean-Eric, who's gonna go out and do the bids for us. We're gonna put the soft tyres on. So yeah, maybe if we take out, that stint was around about 30 laps. So if we I'll put a couple more in. We've still got lots of fuel left because we saved on the hybrid. So maybe if we go about 25 laps, let's try that. Yeah, make use of harvesting as well. Yeah, so if we go short and then harvest the rest of it. So I'm going to go 25. Car looking okay. Considering we've still got 2/3 of the race left. Front end and brakes looking a little worried. And they'll be good to go then. And then we'll bring in Trummer the next time around. And may as well use that as a boost now, and then take a bit to harvest next time. Alright, come on guys. Good stop. You've had nothing to do for 50 minutes. Let's get this done. Warm tyres, yeah, I got that. Was a wear game. Cheers. Right, I'm going to put Zollinger in. Again, I wonder if we go super soft, just because they seem to be lasting the same amount of time. I might try it with the other car just to see. Split the strategy. We'll go again about 25. Car looking okay. Definitely in better condition than car number 1. And in they come. Try the super softs. We can get them to 30 laps or so. It might help. Right, it's a good pit stop from Vern. Then he's back out in 12th. So staying out for such a long time on those tyres really didn't help. But if we can get an extra stop out of it, we'll be okay. Right, car number 2 is in. Pit stop looking okay. No mistakes, 40 seconds, back out into the race. Just behind Vern then. So Sarazan's now made his first stop. Well, that car has. And yeah, we'll just keep an eye on temps, see how the super softs react. We know that the soft tyres can pretty much go steady the whole time. And then we'll use harvesting as mentioned to try and get the distance out of the fuel we've got. So we've got to keep an eye on Zollinger. If he looks like he needs to get past Vern, we might have to implore team orders. I don't really want to, but we might have to if he has trouble getting past him. So tyre temp's looking good. And we'll see how the wear goes on them as to whether they're a useful race tyre. I don't think they will be. That's the thing, this is the time we also need to start thinking about driver splits, because one of the 2 drivers we've got left is going to have to do 2 stints, and you want them to do pretty even stints. You don't want them left with like 20 minutes and then find out they've got to do like half an hour at the end of the race. It just doesn't help. So we'll keep an eye on everything. Can start harvesting with Vern soon, save some fuel. So everyone's now made the stops. It's shaken out in 9th and 10th. That 6th place is quite a way off. Got some pretty strange. Oh, so Jaimina Jaimina Hansen. Great name, classic name. Is still yet to pit. So there's still one more car, so we might technically be in 8th and 9th. So we've got that Rebellion car across Senna and Castaneves. No, not Castaneves, someone else. Up top. Right, fully charged. We'll go to harvest mode for Vern then, as Jaime Hansen pits and comes out behind us. So those 3 medium tyre runners are still behind us. It's that gap to the super soft runners we need to try and bridge. And I think everybody is in order now. Well, actually, apart from Menendez in 3rd, who somehow jumped straight up the order. Because that's not a Toyota or a Porsche. It is a Signatech car. They're doing a great job out there. Don't know how they manage that. But anyway, tyres looking good. Super soft's dropping a little bit. We'll just try pushing for a little bit and see how quickly they overheat. Zollinger 3.7 seconds behind. Not catching Vern as quickly as I thought he would, but definitely catching. So we are going to have an issue with both drivers in a minute. And there's always the question in this game, when you ask a driver to let their teammate pass, how are they going to react? Because they can go getting a massive sulk for the rest of the race. So we've got to be careful here, but hopefully Zollinger can do it nice and easy. We could always use a little bit of boost just to trick him past. Right, we're overheating way too quickly on those, so we've got to be neutral or less, even on the super softs. Definitely no rain, although a temperature drop coming which might suggest rain somewhere in the final quarter of the race. Those tyre temps coming back down nicely now. So the gap down to 2.5 seconds now between them. Super softs, we destroyed them a bit too quickly there by pushing, but they're holding up okay. Fuel looks okay. Fully charged ERS. Now, do we harvest or do we boost to try and get past Vern? I think we just boost and hope we can get past Vern. Just to try and take this headache away from us. Right, he's passed, and then we go back to harvest. So we get a little bit of harvesting, but that headache is now gone. So if they fight together too long, it's just there's gonna be no point of Zollinger being on those super softs. May as well get him after those guys ahead, and then we can see if this is a viable strategy. Because we could put the #1 car on super softs next time as well. So we're just pushing again to try and bring the temps back up, because we conserved for too long. That's my fault, to be fair. Right, and now we'll keep them on neutral. Okay. It's not looking brilliant at the moment because of the ground we lost in that first stint. But those last 3 cars, which were on mediums, are almost completely out of the game from us now. Just hope we can out-strategize a couple of cars ahead. If we can make one less stop, we make up that distance easily. And Jean-Eric is getting fired up now. Let's see how much difference that makes. Can he bridge the gap in compounds? Go on, Zollinger. It's literally the last car on the track. The worst car out there today. Get past him. There we go. So, it'll be interesting to see if Vern can catch back up. He is, to be fair, bringing that gap down. Obviously, he's now stuck behind the same traffic. It's incredible, isn't it? Like an hour and 20 minutes into a race, our 2 drivers are less than a second between them. Some close racing. So this is the other thing with endurance, I guess. Endurance racing is really associated with this sort of hard attritional racing, where you see cars getting almost completely taken out of the race, but because it's such a long race, they'll get it back to the garage on the back of a truck and try and repair it and get it back out, and they can still get great results. You don't quite get that sense of it from a 3-hour race. Until I play a 6-hour, I don't know what the attritional rate of the AI is, because you would expect over a 6-hour race a fairly healthy level of retirements. At least they can't complain about unequal cars. Very true. Well, to be fair, you can still have unequal cars, but they haven't got them at the moment. Which again is my huge problem with the parts system, but let's not go into that debate, because I haven't brought that up for months. Because they should have the same parts, the way the system should be done. Right, so Vern is really catching back up Zollinger now. He wants to push the engine mode up. To be fair, he's really not going to get much further out of those tyres. So I don't think there's any need to conserve fuel at the moment. Let's stick that harvesting on for Vern. I think soft tyres are the race tyre. I don't see any great benefit to going on the super softs. I mean, Vern needs to conserve fuel because he's got a long time left on those tyres. Zollinger's probably got another 3 or 4 laps at most. So, second round of pit stops coming up. And now we need to start thinking. So, we're going to have 2 45-minute stints, roughly. Let's just go back to 2 speed so I don't buck the gun on this. So, 40 minutes would leave us with 32 minutes, which isn't long enough. So I guess actually if we get the next driver to do a really long stint, soft's the way to go. I'm just wondering, because Zollinger's gone a bit too short, if we stick that car on the mediums now and go as far as we can, get that driver to go to exhaustion, and then hopefully Zollinger will be able to do the remainder of the race. I think because we've lost so much time on these super softs now, that's what we're going to have to do. Mind you, the softs can do over an hour. No, we'll go softs, we'll go softs. We'll go down to 25. He did 21 laps and he's still got... How much fuel is... He's got 6 laps left in. After 21 from 25. Yes, 25 is about right. So we'll just put that little bit of fuel in. Can he even go that long? No. I was thinking... Because we got 2 stints after this. So we've got an hour and a half to fill. And we've got one driver that's done nothing. Simon Trummer can do about 20 minutes. And Zollinger can do about 40... What can he do? God damn my maths. He can do about 38 minutes. Ish. 37 minutes. So Zollinger's going to have to be the one to do the final stint. So we need Gonzalez to do about 55 minutes in the car. So I was just wondering if we put the mediums on, just so that he can get that 55 minutes. But the softs should be able to go that far. So we'll go Gonzalez, we'll go softs. 25 laps of fuel. Car looking okay, thankfully. And then he'll be back out again. Should be a bit more straightforward with Vern. Just because the tyres will last that little bit longer, which gives us a bit more breathing room. Because in the first race we went far too heavy on the super softs. And that's why we were running out towards the end. Right, so Zollinger in this time. Good stop, good stop. No mistakes. And he's back out then. Don't want to be using fuel. Then Vern can go a little bit further. I've just got to make this all add up. If we... See, it seems stupid to bring Vern in now. I guess if we bring him in early, then the other driver's just got to do longer anyway, so it all works out. Because it's those 2 drivers that are going to have to do the rest of the stint. So I think we're okay. I think we're okay to go back up to 4 now. I'm just a little worried, are we going to save a pit stop on anybody? I don't think we are. So I'm struggling to see how we can get back into this now. Because those super soft guys are just too far down the road. Unless we're able to do a super soft stint at the end and just absolutely blast it. And hope that we catch back up. We'll have to see. Okay, we'll bring in Vernon this time round. I think we'll be fine for laps. He's done 26 laps and he's done... How long has he done? He's done 44 minutes. We need the next driver to do a little bit longer than that. Really. It's difficult to work out. Let's go another couple of laps. Let's go a bit deeper just in case. I'm really worried. Well, I'm always worried when I have to do maths on the fly, but I'm just a little worried we're not going to have a driver that can do long enough at the end of the race. We maybe made those first stints a little too long. Yeah, alright, John. Don't worry about it, Paddy. Don't worry about it, pal. You see, he's coming up to 22 minutes left in the car. We're going to pit him this time round. So that means that he's going I won't do that again, I promise. He's going to have to do an hour. Vern hasn't done an hour. I think we have to go mediums. I don't think these super... Oh, we'll go softs, we'll go softs. We'll be okay. We'll be okay, boys and girls, it's fine. Car looking okay. Things starting to wear a little bit, but he should be okay for the next hour and 20 minutes. And in Vern comes then. Hopefully it's a clean stop again. Through goes Gonzalez. No mistakes, it's a good stop. And back out into the race. Now, I don't feel we need to fuel save much on this stint. They are long ass stops, aren't they? But then they're only like 3 or 4 man pit crews that change the wheels. Same guys that change the rear wheels also change the front in endurance, and they swap the driver and they refuel and clean the windscreen. Not that that's really a time consuming thing, but you know what I mean. Okay. We are going to have to save fuel at some point. But he's all fired up, Gonzalez. Let's give him a little bit of extra juice for this time. Here we go. New lease of life. I'm in the car 12 minutes, mate. Not a fucking sob story about how hard it is. Right, so trying to gauge the race situation. So we're only about 11 seconds behind one of the Porsches. We've got Maria Lopez. I think that's Toyota. Yeah. So it's Toyota. Both have made 2 stops. We've got the Rebellion that hasn't made its second stop yet. That will surely go behind us. We've had a second stop. So that's the first of our real competition that's ahead. Raul. And then Raguez and Tandy, who's in the other Porsche. We're not in a good position here. I think we're only about 9th or 10th overall if we're lucky. Tyre's not warming up very well on Gonzalez's kart, so let's just push a little bit. We'll save fuel initially with Hishki because he's got to do a really long stop, a really long stint. I'm not worried how this one's going to turn out. we've just got to trust that these guys can do it, and trust that we're on the right strategy. So there is that drop in temperature coming now, which is why the tyres are needing a little bit of extra warm up. I don't think it means there's going to be any rain. Not on the face of it anyway. Right, we'll go back to neutral. Now we've got that heat cycle into the tyres. So Gonzalez is ahead of 3 cars at least, so he's technically in 9th. No, he is in 8th. Because Rosatour has not made a second stop and will go miles behind all of us. So it's Becci is the one car that might go behind us as well. So I think we're in 7th and 9th, I think, provisionally at the moment. As long as we can make it work that we only stop once more. Just need these tyres and fuel load to go the distance. Right, we really need to harvest next time with Gonzalez. We lost a lot of fuel there by pushing. To be fair, that might have been a mistake. It's done 23 minutes so far. We need him to do about another 40. He's tiring as well. This is going to be tricky. So let's start working it out now, shall we? So Gonzalez, the driver with most time in the car is Zollinger, left. So he's got 35 minutes. So Gonzalez has got to go till 35 minutes. And Hishiki. Vern is the one with the most time. Also not well rested. So 25 minutes or 22. 25 or 22 minutes Vern's got to go. Hishiki's got to go to. This is what I'm worried about. I don't know that these two drivers are going to be able to do long enough of a stint. Now, this is what we thought last time in race number 1, and we just left them out there even past their stamina point. And that's what got us those really good positions. If we can pull this off, one will stop till the end, and we might just gain a few extra positions. That's the hope anyway. Right, we're going to have to start harvesting in a minute with Gonzalez. I might as well do that now. Just to see what kind of fuel that saves. And you see, this is the trickiest bit of strategy in the endurance racing. It's just getting the cars to the end with the least amount of pit stops, with the quickest time, and with the right combination of drivers. Which, to be fair, is the stuff that major LMP1 and even LMP2 teams have a bunch of guys on laptops to sort out for them. Because they need it. It's that difficult. You need a bunch of guys in a room with some laptops and a gazillion gigabytes worth of telemetry. There's some facts I read a few months ago it might have even been Le Mans, but the amount of data that was coming back to from the car over the course of the Le Mans race was like more data used by the entirety of NASA when they sent up the space shuttle or something, or during the whole of that year. You need to have a calculator. Yep, you need a calculator and spreadsheets. 1 + 1 is 2 + 1 is 3. Quick maths. Okay, Shiki. You keep going, my friend. I'm really, really worried. We're going to have to make one more stop than I wanted to. And that's what could lose us a good finish in this race. So sponsor wants us to finish 7th. Gonzalez currently in that 7th place. Ishiki in 9th. Can challenge Canal ahead. But 5th and 6th is what we were aiming for, and Ragaz and Bamba. See, Bamba, there's still a Porsche right down there. I think it's Raul that's doing the best job of all. Yeah, the Signatech in 4th. And quite a nice distance ahead of Ragaz, the other Signatech, in 5th. So this is worrying for our championship position. But we'll keep going. We'll keep going. Right, tyre temp's dropping off a cliff. I missed that. Not attack. Just push. So it's continuing to drop here. Down 16 degrees now. Always need quick maths. Man is getting hot now. But need no jumper. I've been told I shouldn't do that. Because A, I don't know the words, and B, it just doesn't suit me. So I'll stop. That mean. Have we just destroyed our tyres? By taking too long, harvest, to notice that they were dropping in temperature. Gonzalez is the problem. So Gonzalez needs to go to about 35 minutes. He's got another 15 minutes to do. The tyres will go that far. He's a bit short on fuel at the moment. This could be timed to perfection or a complete and utter disaster. I don't know which way this is going to go yet. So I'm pretty sure we can get away with the super softs on the final stint. Is 1+, I guess. How long did they go before? 23 laps. These have done 25 so far. 25 is equivalent to 42 minutes. So half an hour. Yeah, super softs should do the final stint on both cars. Okay, so at least we'll be quick at the end. But it only matters if we can get there. Right, we need to do some more harvesting. Because fuel is now the danger. Just over 10 minutes for Gonzalez. Let's make sure we've worked this out correctly. Quick maths. Right. Zollinger's going in the car. He's got 30... just under 35 minutes. About 34 minutes 26. So he's got to get it down to 34, 33 to be safe. This is going to be tight. This is going to be really, really tight. Fuel is the tightest thing at the moment. Tyre life should be okay. No, Hishki. Just try at your bare minimum. Make sure you get that stint done. We're screwed if you don't. So Gonzalez would have done almost an hour in the car when we finish this stint. Low downer from Gonzalez. Just 8 minutes, Bo. Just 8 minutes. Hang in there. You've had worse. Alright, so I don't think we're going to gain a pit stop on anybody here. So I think it's going to be 7th and 9th if everything plays out correctly. Davidson just came in the Toyota to put soft tyres on. He should easily be able to do 40 minutes till the end. So that's okay. We have to do some more fuel saving now. This is going to be so close. So close. Yeah, I don't care about you, Hishaki, just yet. Whatever your blooming name is. Have you got a first name? I'm getting sick of your surname. Jonathan. Right, I'm going to call you John. Okay? Much simpler. Quiet, John. It's not your time. Oh, good God. Can he do 2 more laps? He's got to. He's got to one way or the other. Just hold on. Just save that fuel. Stroke that throttle. Probably going to have to go down to low engine mode just to save a bit of fuel and harvest. He's got to come in this lap, which will be under 35 minutes. Right, we're good. We're good. Right, Zollinger in the car. God, I hope I got this maths right. Do we go super softs for 35 minutes? I think it would be safe with this car. The other car we can definitely go super softs. So, with just 35 minutes left, that's 32 laps. I think 24 we should be okay. Front end looking a bit dodgy. Don't want to lose 11 seconds though, so we'll push that. Zollinger. Right, we're good to go. Soft and just push the tyres more. Okay, I'm with you. Do you think we should go super soft with the other car though? Because that's going to be about 20 minutes left. I think we should. Right, Jonathan has got to do about another 10 minutes or so. Let's double check car number 2 then. So that was 20. If we're going to put Vern in the car, see, Gravesy would be the better option. He's only got 22 minutes as opposed to 25. So we'll see how long his Jonathan can stay out there. Need to do a bit of fuel saving with that car. Yeah, go supers if you're just going to have a short stint. Yeah, it'll be a short stint for the last driver, so we'll go super softs. Right, good pit stop. Come on. You can do this, boys. Back out. No mistakes. Good stop. And we can use medium fuel again. Right, it's telling us we've got excess fuel, so we can probably go to high fuel mode for the moment, just to use these tyres. We'll keep them neutral at the moment, and then we'll push for the last 10 laps or so. Jonathan's getting pretty tired out there. I'd much prefer to have Gravesy in the car though. Just fresher, more experienced. I don't know that we're going to be able to make it to 22. We'll see, we'll see. Right, Zollinger is 9th. Yeah, I don't see how we can progress in this at all. We'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. I think it's going to be 7th and 9th. Right, we need to push those tyres because I forgot it's dropped some temperature. Just keep an eye on that engine, considering we're pushing. Those softs are really cold as well. That's my fault. Just need a few more minutes. A few more minutes from Jonathan. Yeah, you're not getting them. Sorry, Zollinger. You will get this car to the end. You will stroke it home. And then we'll have a massive party. Okay? Porsche trying to get past on fresh tyres. Don't fight him too much, John. Stop giving me these messages as well. Right, it comes to 25. I feel we've got to stop him at 25. I don't think we can go to 22. Just because it will risk something happening the longer we stay out. So we come in the lap after this one. And it's going to have to be Vernon in the car. Unfortunately, that's not such a bad thing. He'll get into his zone a bit quicker as well, which will help. So super soft's on. Try to calculate how much fuel you need so you don't overfuel him. Yeah, this is where I have an issue. So 25 divided by about 1.40-ish. I am so bad at maths. I'm going to employ a calculator of all things. Right, so it's going to be 25.42 divided by 1.4. 18 laps. With a bit of fuel saving, we'll go to 15. I reckon we can save 3 laps of fuel just through harvesting. Current lap times, I'm going to go on average lap times. It's going to be about 140, 141. I'll put a lap in for extra, for luck. So we'll go 16. With a bit of fuel saving, that should be plenty. It'll be overfueled a little bit, which means he can push at the end. We've overfueled Zollinger massively, so he's got tons of fuel to use. Right. No need to harvest Zollinger, so we'll just keep using that boost. Be interesting to see here how much time Jonathan has lost, considering he's really been struggling with stamina the last few laps. He's on low fuel as well, I know. That's why he's coming into the pits. Cheers, guys. Right, Zim. Everything going okay. Our pit crew are the best. They just don't make mistakes. There goes Zollinger then. So quite a lot of time lost. And comes back out in 10th. We've got 9th to regain, I would presume, because of PK. Oh crap. Pushing too hard on those tyres. Let's keep them down. Got a bit of excess fuel. I don't think there's any need to use it just yet. So we actually overfueled, apparently. So we might as well use that as boosts. So Zollinger absolutely on it at the moment. Perfect 10 on the form book. And has he got any chance of closing anybody down? Not really. We're going to regain 7th when PK pits. We're still 28 seconds behind Lostra. I'm really surprised that Negreo and Dumas, those two Simutech cars, are actually ahead of a Porsche and a Toyota. Actually, they're not. They're just ahead of one Porsche. Whoever lost that number 2 Porsche has had issues. Because the performance bars for Porsche and Toyota and the rest of the field, it's like Porsche and Toyota are like 90%, the rest of the field are about 20%. It's a massive place advantage, as it is in actual Le Mans. So, I keep forgetting about the tyres. The tyres. Everything, I think, has been timed okay. Yeah, we're good. Till the end on both cars. Yeah, so I'm surprised that they can race them at all. That's what I was kind of wanted to enjoy, was like the challenge of trying to bridge the massive gap to Toyota and Porsche. But it doesn't seem that big a gap. I mean, yes, we're 100 seconds behind. Let's gloss over that for a minute. Simutech are right up there with them. Where in reality, over a 3-lap race, the Rebellions and the Simutech cars and the Manor cars would be laps down by now. Right, neutral. And start using some of that fuel. Nose condition low. That's 30, you're okay. We can't really use that engine mode. Engine down to 21%. Yeah, everything's starting to fall apart a little bit here. So we'll just use the boosts. and rather than the fuel, hopefully we'll be okay to the end. So all the pit stops have shaken out then, and we find ourselves 7th and 9th like we were. There are a couple of cars that have made a 4th stop. The Toyota has made a 4th stop and has relinquished the lead of the race. And Senna's just made a 4th stop. So we've now regained 8th. There's 2 more pit stops. Oh yes! Zollinger up to 5th. Is Vern going to get them? It's a strange pit lane. He's got... Yeah, he's got Hartley. He hasn't got Menzies. Can he defend here? Oh, that's... I'm really surprised they made a stop. But it must be the AI miscalculating either fuel or time with the drivers. Because this is what exactly what happened in race 1. So Zollinger is now only 6 seconds behind Yanni ahead, but that is one of the Porsches. I really don't think Werner's going to be able to hold off. No, he's not going to be able to hold off a Porsche on fresh tyres. It was worth a go. We'll go back to neutral then. We'll see if he can stick with them. But the main thing is Zollinger's car. He got 6 minutes to go. Just look after it. Every single bump and scrape and noise coming into that cockpit is going to be like a horror movie for Zollinger right now. Ticking down the clock. We've got a nice advantage. We've got 20 seconds odd back. We're just over 13 seconds actually. So I think we're going to be okay on time. It's just if the car holds together. As tyre temps are up, we'll go back to neutral. Probably push a little bit more on Vern's car. Let's just keep using these boosts. So about 2 laps to go. And now also our maths comes into consideration. Because the really weird thing about endurance racing, it's because it's done on time per driver. It also means that it depends where the leader is when they cross the line, as to whether we might have to do 1 extra lap or 1 less lap. I mean, Zollinger hasn't been lapped, so he'll be on the lead lap. Vern still hasn't been lapped either. So final minute. Cars are okay. No danger anywhere else from being attacked for position. So time's up. Conway will cross the line to take the win. Oh, this is going to be real close. Zollinger should be okay. Jean-Eric, it's going to be very, very tight. Oh, okay, so it freezes the time once the race finishes. Oh, we're good. We're all good. That's 5th. 5th for Zollinger. Vern's going to come across the line in 8th. Great result. Great result. I was really worried that we were completely out of that for a minute, as Conway takes the win for Toyota. But yet again, like the first race, just making sure that we got everything perfect in terms of the stint lengths, not having to do more stops than we needed to, just meant that we got those extra couple of places at the end. And that's some good points in the bank for sure. Right, so 105 laps around Spa are complete. And we have the result of our second race. So, we get an extra couple of points because we got pole. That's good news as well. So that means 6 points for car number 2 and 10 for car number 1. Signatech, the only guys beating us in terms of our direct competition, and Signatech car behind. But we had a big lead from race 1. Means our drivers are now 5th and 6th in the championship, 1 point apart. Constructors nicely third still. Only 3 points behind Porsche. Toyota extending the lead at the top, but Signatech closed that gap right up to 9 points now. So it's going to be a real battle with Signatech for that third place. That is what we're going for. And you never know. Not giving up beating Porsche yet. But I mean, Porsche may as well give up. Never sell a car again if they got beaten by Manor in the opening season. And by Collins and Volante Rebellion a long way out. So that was a good race. It's I'm learning more and more about these endurance strategies as we go along. I think it really is the kind of thing that if you're doing the same length of race, you will eventually work out the optimum strategy in terms of how long each driver has to be in the car. Obviously, how long the tyres last, fuel and weather will always be variable. But I think working out the best drivers to have in at the right times and for how long will stay roughly the same. So, good form from everybody in car number 1. Then continuing to improve. I pointed this out in the Haas series, but I'll point this guys out for maybe that just watch the endurance. So every driver in this is essentially has a 5-star potential. So this is a decision from the mod maker. It means that every driver can become the best, but the rate in which they improve has been drastically reduced, and obviously still age and things have a different factor as to how quickly they improve. So that was the decision by the mod maker anyway, so I just thought I'd bring that up. And it's 2.8 in the bank then. That will get us some parts on the car for next time, which is good news. Right, as I said, we're just going to do one race this evening. Hopefully next week things will be a little less hectic. I won't have a podcast to edit next week, so hope maybe we can do our first 2 episodes in a single live stream next time. Have a nice long one. Pull up before the fire and watch Jay rip his hair out as he calculates quick maths. But as always, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you have enjoyed it. The podcast I'm going to continue editing straight after this. I'm about 3/4 of the way through editing it. Then I've got to render and upload, so it will be either early hours of the morning that it goes live, or I might just delay it and put it out first thing in the morning. But it will be, by this time tomorrow, it will be out, put it that way. So look out for that soon. Of course, 2 league races this weekend as well, which will both be live streamed. One in Malaysia in the 2017 cars, and one in the 2004 Ferraris around Spa on Sunday. Apart from that, there might be another F1 career video for the weekend if I can get around to it. And then we'll start again next week. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. The channel's has steadily grown over a year and a half, and it's starting to pick up again a little bit the last couple of weeks, which is great to see, and I really appreciate it. So anybody new watching this, I appreciate you guys. And of course, Leaf, Greg, people that are here always, Fox, I'm sure you'll be watching this retrospectively. Thank you guys, it means the world that you tune in every time to play along with me goofs and gaffs. Yep, Spa should be good. I can't wait for that 2004 race. I feel like I've got a real chance in those cars, but I know Kauser and Weiser Series too well that that's going to be incredibly difficult to beat them. But I'm hoping that I can get on the podium in one of the 2 races at the weekend, because I'm good at Malaysia as well. So we'll see. But do tune in for that. So this will be me wrapping up for this Wednesday evening endurance stream. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you again very soon.